What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the world of a turnip. Today I've actually been able to join a new event that's going on for Amazon's new world. It is a pre-event that has been hosted by Amazon Game Studios themselves. They were allowing us to join this event and get some footage to showcase for you guys. It's the new zone called Reekwater. We talked about this a little bit in previous videos, but now we actually get a chance to get an early look at it. It's an early iteration though, just wanted to make that clear firsthand. And that right now there's a lot of different changes. Of course, you guys are aware of the combat changes, the cooldown changes, stuff like that, but there's definitely even more that we do have to go over. Starting with the gear, let me put it on bag so you don't have this red aura over my inventory really quick. So starting with the gear, like we talked about before in the previous alpha, they do have stats now, not just the armor, but the weapons too. So the weapons now give us like strength stats, focus stats, since the life staff has now changed to a focus-based weapon. For the dexterity, the bow weapon is basically giving us that now. The spear as well has made an entry, and it is a dex-based weapon, but I found a couple different interesting things that I want to go over about the spear, specifically what happens if you build a strength-based character. But also, they introduced a very popular mechanic that I'm sure a lot of you are going to love. I've seen a lot of comments about this specific mechanic, and they do have fishing, finally. If you're watching this today on the Wednesday, then most likely you've already seen the patch notes if they mentioned it there. I don't know what the patch notes are going to look like because this is happening before that. But either way, I'm sure you guys are already aware that they do have fishing. If you're not aware already, I'm going to show you a little bit of that. I will make a follow-up video showcasing it in actual guide form, but in the first look I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of how it works. But first, let me go ahead and get all my armor on. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, peachy, I got my armor on, everything's ready to go. Now, a couple different things that work a little bit differently, starting with the gems, is that they now actually give the elemental effects. So just like I thought about beforehand, the ignited one comes from like the ruby, for instance, and you can get like the abyssal one, which is like a void damage. You can get that from the amethyst, and you can put that into your weapons, or if you put it into your armor, it'll have a different effect, like a abyssal ward for the amethyst, as well as a fire ward for the ruby. For the onyx, which used to give us constitution for these gems, it used to give us constitution when we put them into our gear, and also the tier 5 faction gear automatically came with that. It now gives us a physical ward if we put that into our armor, as well as a brash weapon trait if we put that into our gear. In terms of the perks on the gear itself, right now, of course, we don't have any here. I wanted to do some testing to see if what would happen if we got like a blue or purple weapon. The chances are we might actually get one during this preview, but as you can see at this top, I got a lot of attribute points. We gotta go over that as well in just a second here. You got a lot of people ready to go. Hopefully I meet up with a couple of them on this journey that we're gonna take here, but first let's put this food on, potions on. Okay, let me talk about the attributes. Now, in the previous patch, as you can see as well, they increase the stat cap of the attribute system. Right now, just at first glance, this looks a whole lot different because beforehand, these stats usually capped out around like 60 in terms of like how many points you could put into them. After that, you had to put on jewelry to get even higher than that. You had to use jewelry and gems to get to like 110 or 105 intelligence, for instance. This is kind of crazy though. Either way, there's definitely going to be some build diversity going on. So if you wanted to go a full dex build and use the spear as well, you definitely could. For me personally, I'm very used to the strength build as well as having mostly constitution, so I'm probably going to go that route. For this one, I'm going to probably put I'm going to probably split it down a 2 to 3 split. So I'm going to put about 120 points ish into constitution, and then I'll do 60 into strength. That way I might do 30 into strength just on this one because these mobs are really difficult, and I want to make sure that I can actually hold my own against them. You'll see in just a little bit, and some of them actually have different abilities that you'll be coming across as well in the world. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I could survive this, so I'll probably go down to 30 for this one. Okay, let's go ahead and get to this. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick my skills. I have a build that I usually go on the sword. I have a build now that I like to go on the spear itself because I tested this one out a little bit as well. It's a pretty cool weapon, actually. I like the way that this works. It's very mobile. It's kind of like a assassin type weapon but also more of a bruiser. Like you can go toe to toe with somebody, or you can kind of skirmish with them to keep them at bay and kind of dance around them a little bit. And also because you now have the cooldown aspect, which by the way, it's actually we haven't tested it out in PvP per se, but in PvE, the cooldown thing isn't that bad right now. I have to say, after testing it out a little bit, it's not really as spam heavy as I was initially thinking, and I'm sure a lot of other people were thinking as well. It's not really that bad. But let me go ahead and put my build on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I'll show you a little bit of the combat. All right, we are ready to rock and roll. I've got 12k health right now. I'm going to go ahead and pop some food here. Hey, it's Redbird. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and go into the city and check in to the inn. I'm going to do a little bit of a showcase here in terms of hiding my HUD so you can see it a little bit better. But in terms of the issue where some cities felt like they were copy pasted, it doesn't seem to be the case here. This is definitely a unique city all on its own. I like the look of it quite a bit. And as you can see here, it's got different elevations to it. Very, very good design. This entire zone reminds me of like a pirate-based zone, and this city reminds me of a pirate cove. Now, I'm definitely going to show you the fishing in a little bit here, but I definitely wanted to show you a little bit of the city itself. And you can actually buy houses here. There is a few that I've seen so far. Yeah, they got a couple houses like this. I've seen a 2-story, but nothing much bigger than this. This one up here might actually be a housing spot too. This might be a 3-story. This looks like a 2. Not bad on this one. Yeah, see, you could put some pretty good decorations up here. I like this. You know, not much usable living space here, but I mean, in terms of getting a really good view of the city and whatnot, you couldn't really go wrong with this. Also, that statue over there, that's the Siren Queen. You're going to learn about that in just a second here, but I wanted to make sure I showed you this house first. Now let's go down, let's do some fishing a little bit, and we'll continue. All right, we are on the road. Hey, let me show you the spear combat a little bit. So I've got my build going right here. I'm going to make a dedicated video in terms of a spear guide that you can use. So if you want to look at the skills more in depth, you can. This is the build that I have right now. This focuses a little bit more on the debuff side. The spear can actually apply bleeds. I don't have the second skill that applies bleed, which is skewer, but I do have the 3-stab ability called perforate. I like this one a little bit more. It's more easy to work with when I'm using my combos, and the other one, I don't know, it just kind of locks you in place a little bit. It's kind of dangerous to use sometimes, so I just prefer this one, but I'll show you how this works a little bit. Got a chicken here, a little heavy attack there, and I'll show the animations of the heavy attack a little bit more in depth in that spear guide as well. This is my Q ability, the perforate. It's kind of fast, didn't get a hit on him, but you get the idea. The second ability is pretty cool actually. It's a little bit of a jump where I basically plant my spear into the ground and then I do a drop kick onto the enemy. Now if I land that perforate, it's supposed to apply that bleed too. And this is a whirlwind ability right here, which is an insta cast AoE. And actually the reason I use it, even though we're fighting single targets, is because it's actually still getting used to the spear a little bit, but it's actually very useful as a combo continuer. So if I'm in the middle of a combo here, I need a little breathing room, or I just got somebody that maybe dodged me a little bit or is trying to dodge me, that whirlwind ability is going to make it a little bit harder for them to dodge that. And also it's going to make it to where I have a little bit of breathing room and I can switch to another weapon right after. Now with the cooldowns being changed, you're going to be able to make much more use of your toolkit. The combat itself is going to be much more fast paced, so you'll be able to use your spear combo, switch to the warhammer, switch to the sword, vice versa. And this area right here is what I wanted to show you. This actually reminds me, feels like it's straight out of Avatar. Really, really beautiful landscape. I love the design so much. These mushrooms really, really complement the look of the weirdworm trees. I think they're called weirdworms. Can't remember the exact name for them. But yeah, the mushrooms look amazing. Little bastards moving around. All right, now before we continue onward, I wanted to showcase a little bit of the fishing. I also changed up my spear build a little bit so I can actually do a little bit more damage on the bleed side rather than trying to mess around with that skewer ability, or the puncture ability, whatever it's called, perforate. But anyway, the way this fishing works, I'm going to do a very brief example because I will have a dedicated video that shows you a little bit more in-depth analysis into the fishing itself. But You want to press F3 while you're at this body of water. You can do it basically anywhere, and each territory, from what I was able to learn, each territory has their own different fish. Now, as we know, one thing that we talked about beforehand was how, like during the preview, you probably saw this, how the majority of the food resources that you would get for cooking and whatnot, you got those from provision chests. Well, fishing, up until now, we never actually had a method of doing that. So this is going to allow us to do that. You can get these ingredients to use for the cooked meals, but also you can break them down. I haven't tried it yet, but they said that you can actually break down the fish parts to use for something else. Now, when you start the fishing sequence by pressing F3, you want to just hold down the left mouse button to cast the line. I didn't get the maximum distance there, but basically what you saw there was me just holding down the mouse button, and then I just have to get it as close as possible to that orange circle or diamond, and then I just let it go. Once I do, you're going to see that icon right there pop up, and as soon as the fish is ready, it's going to say get ready, then I got to hook it. So I just left click right there to start hooking it, then I reel it in. The mini game right here is built on tension, so like you can see in that specific icon right there, you just have to keep on holding down left click, but once it gets close to breaking, you just let it go a little bit. So you just give them a little bit of slack, reel them in, a little bit of slack, reel them in. And then you got yourself a fish. So pretty simple way that it works. It is actually very addicting though, I will say. Now, if you want to have a higher chance of getting fish or good fish, depending on where you are, you can apply bait. Now you can get this bait from, and I've tried this a little bit already, you can get this from gathering from flint, or you can even get it from gathering from bushes. And there's a couple other ways you should be able to get some bait as well. Like I believe cooking you might have a way to get it through that too. But so I would imagine this is salt water. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing it's salt water just because because of the location. Probably is fresh, and I'm sure someone's going to call me out for that. But I'm going to go ahead and apply a bait here. So for this one, I'll use glowworm bait, and this is going to give me a large boost of catching better fish in salt water. Or I could use like a meat bait, which would give me a small boost for freshwater. Oyster bait. You won't start with all these automatically, of course. Once you get in game, you're going to have to find these yourself or make them yourself. But let's go ahead and try the glowworm bait. So I'm going to equip the bait. Then I basically just hold down the left mouse button. I was able to get that down earlier. I don't know why I can't get the max now. And then I just wait for the fish to pop up on my line. Get ready. Now, if you click it too soon, it's going to snap right away. Like if you click it like right when it says get ready, it's just going to snap on you. So you don't want to do that. And then if I hold this down long enough to where that tension just goes into the red, it's just going to break on me like that too. So you have to be very careful. Make sure that you don't mess that part up. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy this. I know I got a lot of comments from you guys saying how you were really looking forward to something like this or hoping that it would become a thing. So I'll try the oyster bait now. And also the fish might actually fetch a decent price too from what I was seeing there, because like you're seeing, I'm able to get different weight of fish. So Reekwater has its own class of fish, but you're able to find different ones in other territories. I believe they even said that we might even be able to get like electric eels, salmon. They even said that there's underwater, I believe they said there's underwater monsters as well, like not real monsters. I'm trying to find the exact wording they said for that. Pretty sure they said lake monsters or sea monsters. There we go, sea monsters. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm not sure where exactly we're going to find those, but that sounds pretty nice, and I'm sure that people that are looking forward to that are going to enjoy. Let's go ahead and jump back into this combat though. All right, new plan. Instead of flying solo, we're actually going to be joining a group for this one. We're going to be doing a quest, and it looks like we're on the same quest together as well. We're going into this area over here. So this works. But yeah, a lot of these areas over here, you're going to need a group for. There's some pretty difficult ones over here, especially down in the very south area where this area is known as the spine. And basically, like I said earlier, the story behind this zone is that the Siren Queen arrived here a long time ago. This is a new character we haven't really heard of before. And I'm kind of curious to see what her relation, or maybe she doesn't have a relation with Isabella, might be. But apparently this queen had arrived and basically taken over this area entirely, and anybody that wasn't able to escape, they got put into work camps for her down there. And you'll actually see when you go down there, there's actually, and we're going to check that out in a little bit here, but there's actually 2 bosses that I've seen so far in there. I wasn't able to get into the very, very deep parts of it though, because as I said, these monsters are very difficult and they go above level 60. Some of them, I think I've seen even like 64s, maybe a 65 in there as well. So very similar to Merkgard in the north. You got a lot of different elite mobs down here, and these ones actually function differently than what we've seen so far, like I said before as well. So it's going to be pretty crazy, but hopefully when we actually get into the game fully, we'll be able to take it down and find out what exactly they drop. One thing that was a problem before as well is the loot tables in terms of the bosses not dropping really decent loot. So hopefully that's something that's been improved. We're not able to really test that right now, of course, but maybe those of you in the alpha or later on next year when the beta begins, you'll be able to try that and see exactly what they drop. All right, new plan. They needed a spot for press, so I'm gonna have to tag along here, but I'll still be with the group, and hopefully this quest itself is the same one that I'm on. I think it is. Yeah, we just have to search for any evidence about the pirates' activities in this area. So I definitely will see if we can get a little bit of combat here. One of the new lore pages. Yeah, this build works a little bit better for what I want to do. These banners seem to give some kind of buff to the enemy units, and you'll start seeing these around Reekwater now as well. Very, very interesting that these even exist. I'm kind of curious to see what purpose they serve in the long run. Now that I didn't see before. Looks like we got another boss running around here. This is a big boy. You know what? I think I can take him though. He doesn't seem to be an elite, like a mega elite. Oh, I didn't hit him. I was gonna say, like, I didn't do any damage. Looks like it's you and me, buddy. Come on. Come on, what you got, huh? What you got? Oh, he can do that? That's crazy. What are they supposed to do? Oh. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by that, even by an ogre. I think I interrupted him a little bit. Hard to say. Come on. We doing this? Ooh. That's fancy. That's pretty fancy right there. So he's very similar to the corrupted ogre. There's actually a bigger version of this guy as well. Down in the south, like I mentioned, where the spine is, there's a boss guy that looks exactly like that, and I'm sure he does very similar abilities to this one as well. Let's see what we got here inside this little cave. It's like a detachment of the Loster in here. Okay. Don't get hit by that. Got him. Go. All right, not bad. Yeah, overall though, the combat itself definitely seems more fast-paced, but it doesn't seem like the cooldown thing is presenting that much of an issue. In PvP though, it's going to be a little bit of a different story, of course, but for the PvE side of it, like I said before, it doesn't seem that bad here. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of input lag. Usually it's more fast-paced when I'm trying to execute my abilities. With the sword, that is. I'm not sure if they do have a boss in here, but we're going to find out, though. Oops, couldn't interrupt them. Probably better that he went ahead and exploded rather than me getting a little bit closer to him. That would have been bad. Actually, it might not be input lag. It might just be the changes that they made. Might not be able to chain as much with the basic, not the basic attacks, but the heavy attacks anymore. My skills. This isn't the area I wanted to go into, by the way. This isn't the high level zone, but this is a beautiful area as well that I liked. That I like to see. This is nice. These little bastards are the worst. Okay, so this right here is the version of the corrupted tendril that I was talking about. Instead of it being the corrupted tendril itself, it's the nature-based one. These ones can burrow beneath the ground and travel to you, or they can just start spewing stuff just willy-nilly all over the place at you. Very, very deadly, and some of these dryads can cast some different abilities than we've seen so far. Like this one, of course, can cast a smoke screen. Some of them can summon units. Very deadly stuff here. This elder specifically is a new type of dryad. Very similar to the dryad elementalist. Some of the mobs will have spears, and this one specifically can use a charge ability. This one's a little bit different as well. He incorporates the whirlwind ability from the gravedigger, but also he has a charge ability. I'm going to try to see if he'll do it on me. Hold on, they're getting feisty. Got one. Ooh, hit me good. Don't have my Path of Destiny. I got my Mighty Gavel though. Got him. All right, so one thing you'll notice about Reekwater that's pretty cool is not only will we get some backstory on the dryads, but we're also going to get some backstory and encounter some guardians of the island. If you're not aware, the guardians are known as like the ancients, for instance. The skeletal creatures that you see a lot from time to time, they actually call them guardians, as well as a couple other creatures I believe are known as guardians as well, including the deer that I had mentioned before in previous videos, as well as the spike-shaped wolf, or spike-skinned wolf, rather, is the guardian as well. But I believe right here is another area that's going to pay homage to the guardians as well. This is called the Eternal Pools. And I haven't actually made it through here alive. This time around, I'm going to try my best to fight my way up there. But yeah, I'm not sure how well this is going to go. Hopefully we can take this one down. I can't get through that area right there. This looks like it might actually open up being an open world dungeon later on. If you guys don't remember, there was actually an article that was done a while back that had gone over something called artifact bosses. This was an article I think was done a couple months ago. I covered it, and there was actually a quote in there about these artifact bosses where you would get these items that you could take to a specific location that would have coordinates, and then you could open up a passageway to get encounters. I think this is one of those kinds of areas, just based off of looking at it and the fact that we can't get into it just yet. I'm sure there's going to be more areas around the map. I'm already able to think of at least one of those areas, but I actually got to go around here. This is how I get into the Eternal Pools right here. But this area right here specifically, I did want to show too, because I think this might actually end up being what is known as an artifact boss. Oh, I just walked right over that. This area also looks like a pretty interesting one. I think this one is more on the Guardian side. I'll have to get a little bit closer to find out, but yeah, looks like we got Guardians here. These ones are a little bit easier to fight right now than the Angry Earth, at least the ones over there, because those guys were intense. Got him. Looks like he just resurrected somebody. Cannot be standing in that. Oh, I thought that would interrupt him. No, not today, sir. Yeah, these guys right here, yep, they summon people. They should be relatively weak overall, but that's something to be wary of, no matter what. Gotta get rid of him first. Don't forget that some of these guardians can actually resurrect themselves. I think it's a random chance to happen, but it can happen though. Got him. Got you. Yep, saw that coming. Did he fall off the cliff or something? He's just gone. I'll take that. Yeah, I love that ancient statue every time I see it. Every time I see it. Definitely feel like we're going to get some interesting lore out of this area or this zone. I would love to see if I can, later on down the line when they fully release the game or whatnot, I'd love to see if I can go around exploring and try to get all the lore pages, because there's a way to see the lore pages. I think there's a couple websites that actually showcase them, but I would love to actually collect them in game and see if I can piece them all together, kind of thing. Got some company here too. What does that say? The surgeon? Good choice. He's using a spear as well. Also good choice using a bow with the spear as well. I think you can be pretty viable on a dex build with the spear and bow, especially because if you get up close to somebody and use the spread shot like you would normally use with the bow, you can do a crap ton of damage, especially with the cooldowns no longer being a thing. You can just destroy somebody basically. What is that? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we got to take out all these guys. Got him. We got something called an ancient door here, and we got to find out what is on the other side. Excuse you. Oh, I can't use it. This definitely looks like some kind of artifact. Wait a minute. How come he could? Oh, no, I can't get through. Nope, I still can't seem to get past the door. Very interesting, but you know what? It might be related to it being like it might be tied to a quest, or it could be like an artifact thing like I was talking about. Could be something going on there. Either way, there might be something on the bottom floor that we haven't seen yet, so let's go ahead and check this out here. Yeah, so it looks like that ancient door must be the way to continue through this dungeon, so to speak. Doesn't seem to be any other way to get in there. But yeah, the Siren Queen is really interesting so far. I'm really, really curious to learn more about them and find out more about what brought them here, what would they like when they were here, that kind of thing. I would love to see some cinematics, especially just cinematic storytelling in general, of some of these characters, especially like Isabella, what happened to her, if she's still on the island, and if she's gonna, you know, come back in the future, the Siren Queen, stuff like that would be really, really nice to see. Now, coming up the spine, one thing you'll need to know, this is where the first boss is. I'm gonna try my best to sneak past him because he's actually a pretty big, beefy bastard. Let me see if I can repair my gear before this just to be safe. Getting kind of damaged here. Also pretty low on pots, so we're not going to be able to rely on those as much, but see if we can make do. Ah, so he's not spawned. There's supposed to be a big, big boss right here, and he's supposed to be the one that breaks down the door, but apparently he's on a break or something. Must be. He was here earlier. Let's keep going. Hopefully we won't die up here. I want to see if I can get to the very, very top. But you're about to see one of my favorite areas in here. This area reminds me just flat out of Pirates of the Caribbean, hands down. Nope, keep going, keep going. Right here, this shipwreck. See if I can hide the HUD really quick. Look at that, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And there's still a couple points of interest that I haven't even come across yet in Reekwater. There's quite a lot to explore in this zone. Might even be some hidden secrets, like whatever's behind that ancient door that we saw. There's got to be something behind there. I don't know what that was, but one day we'll find out though. One day. My God, don't die. There's so many. Worst comes to worst, I can dash a little bit, just like that. Oh, okay, that's the boss. We're almost at the top. We just got to find a way up there. Wait, how do you get up there? Okay, okay. Oh my God, he's so big. Holy crap. All right, I think I got to go up here, possibly. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. We're just free rolling. All right. So this area is what we're going for. I'm not sure exactly what is at the top of it, but it reminds me a lot of Mangled Heights in the western part of the map. So I'm assuming there might be a boss up there. Yeah, it reminds me of this over here, Mangled Heights. For this testing period, we're only able to stick to the region of Reekwater, so I'll only be showcasing zones over here. But let me go ahead and see if I can get to the entrance over there. I'm going to put down my camp as well. Okay. I might be able to make it past that veil if I just carefully keep shooting projectiles at it. Seems to be regenning just a little bit, but I think I can get it. Okay, now getting to what's ever behind it is another thing. Okay, there might be something in here at the very end. It does remind me a lot of Mangled Heights. I think there's another... Oh, this looks like another veil. Okay, I'm gonna have to... And those tendrils will mess me up if I'm not careful. I gotta reset these mobs. If I can just get past that veil without aggroing the tendrils, that's all I need. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to aggro the tendrils as soon as we get up close, but at least this way I can dash right through. Let's see. Oh, camping's restricted here, so no use in trying. Okay, it's open. Come on. That was close. That was super close. There's another one right there. Just got to sneak past it. Oh, crap. They came in here with me. And the veil's already back up, too. Jeez. Wait, how am I supposed to... Oh, we're dead. Oh, I see it. I see it. I need to lose this aggro. I need to lose that aggro. Thing is so strong. Come on, come on. It's got to reset. Think it's reset? Nope. Okay, okay. Oh my God. By the skin of our teeth, we are alive. These tendrils are no joke. There's a veil there, so let me approach this very carefully, because all it takes is one wrong move here, and it's like that, and it's on the way to Pound Town. Gotta be fast. We're also running out of time on the testing phase. Okay, okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. No. That's so tragic. That is so tragic. Come on, man. Oh, no. Oh, I made it. I made it! Somehow. An arena? Oh my god. Oh my god. No way! Eternal Pool boss key. The Spriggan. Oh, there's another Spriggan in here. Now, I wonder if this one has its own design as well. I knew there was something in here. I knew it. Look at that. That's beautiful. But now you guys know there is, in fact, a Spriggan boss. Another one. Right in here. Now, the corrupted Spriggan that we saw in Great Cleave, that one was different than the one that is in Eating Grove. So I would imagine with Reekwater, this one would also have its own set of mechanics inside this arena. So that's pretty cool that we're able to discover this for the first time. I don't think a lot of people in here are as crazy as me either. So it's kind of cool that we were pretty much the first one, probably the first ones to see this, I'd imagine, or one of the first. Challenge the Spriggan and defeat it within 15 minutes. Just very similar to the other one, the Spriggan reward chest. Yeah, I'd love to see what the Spriggan is like, though. If they don't talk about it in the patch notes, then at least we know it's here. And then on full release, or whenever the beta begins, we'll be able to hopefully gather up a party and actually come to this and see if we can take this thing down. Of course, we need to get a Spriggan key. So that means that the mobs inside of Reekwater, I would imagine, would be able to drop this key, is what I'm getting here. So that part's really, really cool. Make sure to farm here as much as you possibly can if you're interested in taking on this boss, because it might take a little bit of time to get that key. But yeah, overall, that's pretty much all that we got for the test so far. Some of the other areas we aren't necessarily able to get into yet, but I'm glad I was able to somehow get into the Eternal Pools, and I'm really glad you guys were able to join me in this crazy adventure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you again so much to Amazon Game Studios for letting us into this early first look and inviting us into this event. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching as well. Hope you have a wonderful night or day, and this is going to make for an awesome screenshot. Farewell, folks.